like it's a very hard game to learn. I was talking to Yipes about it, and it's like one of those games where choosing what you want to talk about is very important. Like I think about Killer Instinct commentary. In KI, you can't really talk about everything because when you're, let's say a combo starts in Killer Instinct, like what do I talk about? Do I talk about what the combo is happening on screen? Like, all right, it's light doubles into medium linker into heavy doubles into whatever. Do I talk about that? Do I talk about the fact that he hasn't broke or counter broke? Do I talk about his meter? You know, all those different things are an option. And when a combo is happening in Marvel, like the threat of counter switching or tagging is still there. Like you can talk about the meter, you can talk about where the combo is going. There's so many little things, and you have to pick the most important thing. So you kind of have to decide like what's the most important thing to talk about all the time. And so to know that, you have to know the game well enough to know like, all right, even though this is happening on screen, the actual important thing is this, right? Like, you know, Champ's getting a big combo, and that's tight. But the important thing to know is that when Richard comes in, he's going to be able to revive with Soulstone. So this is going to happen after, and this is what Champ should set up, right? It's like a really kind of, it's hard to figure out what to say. Most boring analysis on commentary ever? No, I'm just saying, I'm not even talking about their commentary specifically. I'm saying that that's how the commentary has to go for this game. It's a hard game to commentate. I think that this game, I think this game is going to take some work for sure. Like so when I did my block, here's how my block went. I got on commentary and it was the first block ever. So I literally just went over the most basic concepts, right? All I talked about was the most basic and simple of stuff. And afterwards I got off and some people were like, man, you were so boring. You were so like much more boring than you usually are. And I was like, well, to most FGC people, it was probably not, maybe slightly redundant, but I wanted to sort of keep it basic so that new players would be a little more understanding of what's going on, because I think this game is like, it's an eyeful, you know what I mean? It's an eyeful of what's going on. So I only did that because it was the first block ever, and I'll probably never do it again, but it was important to do on the first time. But yeah, in talking to everybody else who's commentated this game, everybody has said that it's hard. This game is hard to commentate because there's so much happening on screen at once. So I have to think more about how I want to commentate it. It's sort of like Killer Instinct. When I started doing Killer Instinct, I had to like think a while about how I wanted to commentate it. And I came up with a really good system for what to talk about and what to not talk about. And I think Marvel is going to be the same way. I already have some ideas for the next time I commentate this game. Yeah, I wanted to do basic commentary on the first block for a couple of reasons. Like, I felt like it was the right thing to do because many people are trying to understand this game and it's an eyeful. Like, I had people come up to me, like a ridiculous amount of people come up to me this weekend and they're like, your beginner's tutorial was very helpful because otherwise I wouldn't have understood a fucking thing that happened on the screen. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It's a complicated game for sure. I think that on commentary, it is very important to have somebody who can help explain. Like, the biggest skill set is going to be able to do analysis in short bursts because you don't have a lot of time. This game is very fast. So that's what you really need. And that's a skill that I've built from other games, so I think that I'll be okay at that. Man, this game's fucking hard. This game's hard to commentate. Judge their jokes. Oh man, I'll tell you a sec. I'm already sick of layers, and I don't want to hear that word again. It's like shimmy. When shimmy was the first commentary block I ever did, I said shimmy a bunch, and I was like, all right, from now on, it's a throw bait, or he baited the throw, or he got baited, or like all these other terms for it. Like, I never want to hear it again. Layers, I feel like is already that word for me. It's been overused. We need to go away from it and then come back to it. Layers has already been used too much. The layers every time. Yeah. Dude, this game is very easy to create consecutive mix-up situations, right? It's so easy because one character does a move that lasts a long time, gets a few mix-ups. When that character, like, runs out of mix-up opportunities, you immediately do another move that puts block, stun, tag, and then that character gets mix-up opportunities. Then you can escape, maybe. So there's multiple layers. There's multiple chances to mix somebody up, obviously, right? But, like, yeah, layers, I think is already, I heard it too much. I don't like it. I don't want to say it. I want to find something else. It's hard, though.